You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the University of Michigan and their next steps. We're also going to take a look at Jim Harbaugh because he's come out and he's made some very emotional comments about taking this Chargers job and his route all the way back around to a place he's very familiar with because Captain Comeback played for the San Diego Chargers. But before we get to that, let's take a look. You guys know I'm a Michigan fan, 49ers fan, a lot of Jim Harbaugh there. For me, he's my favorite, at least my favorite active coach. I really kind of think he might be my favorite coach of all time. Bill Walsh is damn close there. But I was so young. You know, I mean, I can remember Bill Walsh, but I really remember the Niners players and the plays more than I remember Bill Walsh. I've seen a lot after the fact, after he retired. So anyway, let's get to Sherrone Moore because it does look like he's expected to get that head coaching job. I think this makes the most sense. Brian Kelly of LSU caught a ton of fire yesterday. A lot of people was like, that's an immediate bring in. The problem is you look to hemorrhage players out of the program if you bring in Brian Kelly. And LSU's looking at hemorrhage players if he leaves LSU, right? And I think the interim run as head coach for Sherrone Moore gave him a head start to getting this job, right, during Harbaugh's suspensions. So this is Maize and Blue Review. Multiple sources have suggested that offensive coordinator Sherrone Moore is expected to take over the UM program once Harbaugh's hire to the Chargers is official. Moore was named acting head coach for 4 games this season while Harbaugh served multiple suspensions. He went 4-0 on the season while knocking off top 10 programs, Penn State as well as Ohio State. It doesn't hurt to have a victory over OSU already. Sources within the UM program have made it clear from the start that Harbaugh was grooming Moore to become the coach in waiting for when he inevitably left the program. And we certainly know there's certain things he believes in that don't match up with somebody like Gerard Mayo, who was the guy in waiting for, of course, Bill Belichick, and that looks like a potential nightmare for the Patriots. But we don't know yet. I mean, I thought Gerard would do good, and then now I've got to wonder about some of the things I've heard out of him. So let's get to this. This is what he is getting. When Harbaugh signs his contract, he's getting a 5-year deal, Adam Schefter reports. Harbaugh, 60, chose to return to the NFL after winning a national championship with Michigan, leaving behind 2 unresolved NC2A investigations. Michigan was offering him a 6-year contract extension worth $11.5 million annually, Detroit News reports. It's a good bet that Harbaugh got at least that much per season, if not more. Harbaugh's 9-year stay at Michigan was his longest stay at any program. 3 seasons at University of San Diego, 4 at Stanford, 4 seasons with the 49ers. I can tell you, when he took over for the Niners, he took over a 10-year dumpster fire and turned that program around quick. I will continue to say his most impressive job he ever did was with Stanford because that was a program not known to win football games. And, of course, very high academic standards. And he got to Stanford, and all he did was win and develop one of the best quarterback prospects we've ever seen. It's still a shame that we don't know how Andrew Luck's story was going to play out. So, Jim Harbaugh made his comments on joining the Chargers right here. And here we go. So, Michigan was offering Harbaugh a 6-year contract. We just went over that. He decided to return to the NFL, where he went 49-22-1 in 4 seasons with the 49ers. Quote, "My love for Michigan, playing there and coming back there to coach, leaves a lasting impact. I'll always be a loyal Wolverine, Harbaugh said in a statement. And I'm going to tell you, I think the overwhelming sentiment I've seen from Michigan fans is that they're okay with Harbaugh doing this. All right, he played there, he came in, he won a national title, and he had been there a long time. It wasn't like 3 years. He was there 9 years, and it all feels right. And I think a lot of people became Harbaugh fans around that program if they weren't already. And I know, like me, now I'm like, Jim, go win it all in the NFL. And so then he takes his place among the absolute greatest coaches of all time if he can win a national title in college and win a Super Bowl in the NFL. Harbaugh said in a statement, I'm remarkably fortunate to have been afforded the privilege of coaching at places where life's journey has created some strong personal connections for me. From working as an assistant coach at Western Kentucky alongside my father, Jack, in a time as an assistant with the Raiders. If I was the Raiders, this would have been the guy I probably would have hired outside of Antonio Pierce, to being a head coach at USD, Stanford, 49ers, and Michigan. Each of those opportunities carried significance. Each felt personal. When I played for the Chargers, the Spanos family could not have been more gracious or more welcoming. Being back here feels like home. It's great to see that those things haven't changed. Quote, the only job you start at the top is digging a hole. So we know we've got to earn our way. Be better today than yesterday. Be better tomorrow than today. My priorities, and boy, you don't hear this kind of thing much. My priorities are faith, family, and football. And we are going to attack each with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. This organization is putting in the work, investing capital, building infrastructure, and doing everything within its power to win. Great effort equals great results, and we're just getting started. During his playing career, Harbaugh was quarterback for the Chargers in the 99-2000 season. He made 17 starts over that 2-year span. So there you have it. I will say this, and we talked about this early on when he was starting to be rumored for a lot of jobs. The one thing you know for a fact, he will build that offensive line. You'll be damn good on the offensive line. He will build that defensive line. You will be damn good on the defensive line, and you will be able to run the football. You will be able to run the rock, control the clock, and you know, that AFC West, let's just take a step back. Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, Antonio Pierce. Good luck, Antonio Pierce. I mean, I believe Denver's probably going to have 2 more wins next year. That's my gut feeling. Unless Payton decides to strip it and start over with the Broncos, which I could see happening. But, look, Andy Reid's going to have another offseason to reload at wide receiver. I expect the Chiefs to be better next year than they were this year, which sounds kind of scary, but I just think they'll go out and start acquiring talent. There's all kinds of wide receivers hitting the market, all right? So I believe they'll address that wide receiver position, and Kansas City will be better than they are this year. And I expect the Raiders to be a lot more competitive. But, man, it wouldn't shock me if the Chargers flip this thing immediately. Like, they come in, make the playoffs next year, and, you know, if Harbaugh led them to the AFC Championship game, it wouldn't shock me even in the slightest. I almost expect it, to be honest with you. So, tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Michigan looks like they have their guy, and the Chargers look like they've got their dude. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.